Hey guys, today I have a review of David Bowie's new album, The Next Day. Firstly, this is just a quick review. The reason I haven't posted in the last couple of days is just because I haven't really had too much time on my hands and a bit of just being lazy. But to give me a bit more motivation and just to make these a little easier, I'm going to make some of them really short and I'll put it in the thumbnail that it's a little bit quick. So yeah, that's what that's about. Also, I hope you notice that I have some better audio now. I have a microphone sitting before me that you cannot see, which is great. So David Bowie is an English musician. He's been renowned over the years for being quite an innovator in a lot of his work and yeah, to be very ahead of his time and that sort of thing. But honestly, I haven't actually listened to any of his stuff except like the song Space Oddity, which is odd considering I try and make an effort to go just to most well-renowned musicians and that sort of thing, and because I own this. It was given to me, but I still own it, and I don't think I've put it on yet, so I'll have to put it on later on. As I said, I haven't listened to his older stuff, so whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, it means I will be coming into this unbiased, and I'm not going to be comparing it to his old hits and that sort of thing, so I'm not going to be like, oh, it's not as good as his old stuff, is it? It's rubbish. No, I'll be comparing it fair and square. But honestly, at the same time, when I was about to listen to this, I was thinking, you know, he's arguably had his prime time, and we know how artists who've had their prime time, you know, they release albums later on, and they often suck. However, I didn't think this was the case with this album. It was quite enjoyable to listen. It didn't seem caught in the past at all. A lot of the comeback artists, I guess I'll call it, even though David Bowie's never really gone anywhere. Yeah, they often try and go like a modern approach of what they did in the past, but you know, times change, and yeah, maybe David Bowie was ahead of his time that much that that's the reason this doesn't sound old or stuck in the past, but I don't know. Now, the songs themselves were just a collection of really great arty rock tracks, great melodies, great attention to detail, great songwriting. The details in a lot of the tracks, it does require a bit of listening to, and you don't really expect it a lot of the time, but you just think, oh, hang on, what's that? Yeah, the amount of layers in some of the tracks are really quite, yeah, it was really something I didn't expect. Compare some of it to some of my Bloody Valentine's work, and I'd say they've probably taken a fair bit of influence from him, considering where they're from and that sort of thing, in terms of the era. So I'd say that he's probably done this in the past as well. Yeah, in terms of standouts for the songs, I don't think there was probably one or two which I really liked, and there were one or two which I wasn't as big a fan of. The first 4 tracks especially were really, really good. The opener and the second track both were quite, just great melody, great songwriting. Like, as I said already, I don't want to repeat myself because apparently people get really butthurt about that, but yeah, that's how I felt about it. The Stars Are Out Tonight is his lead single, I think, that he's released, and I was kind of expecting it to be a bit washed down, so it was a bit more easily accessible for people. And like, none of the stuff's like weird or anything. You'll see in like the popular reviews of like The Guardian or whatever that there's, oh, it's so weird and arty, but they just don't know things about music. And in terms of my favourite tracks, Love Is Lost and Dancing Out in Space, I forgot the name of it. Yeah, both of those tracks were just really great. Oh no, there was one more. If You Can See Me. If You Can See Me was really unexpected. It kind of had this really driving, intense pace, and it was something that I really didn't expect. And yeah, as I said, like those 3 tracks were probably the standouts to me. Where Are We Now, Boss of Me, and You Feel So Lonely You Could Die. These were the 3 tracks that kind of let it down for me. 2 of them were a little bit, like the other 2, not Boss of Me, were kind of a little bit slower paced, and that's fine, but the melody didn't really count for it. It felt like the weaker tracks on the album, but they weren't bad. They were just in comparison to the other tracks. And then it finishes off with a track called Heat, which is another one of another track I really like. I should just say, like, I like all of them basically. It's got a lot of a real darker feel, pretty heavy in terms of emotion. It seems to put into it. It actually reminds me a lot of a track from Swans called Helpless Child. I think just the intro of that track kind of is similar to the melody in this. As I said, there was some great songwriting, great melodies, great attention to detail in there. It made the album very listenable through the whole thing. I didn't find myself bored towards the end, which happens with a lot of this type of style of music. They just sit with kind of in the safe zone. It wasn't anything like super innovative or anything, but it's kind of hard to be innovative in this era now, considering how many artists are out there and how experimental they're getting. Yeah, as I said, it doesn't sound in the past. It sounds modern in terms of songwriting and sound, which is good, because while, you know, you do like to hark to the past in some of your favourite artists, I think that if they try and do I think a lot of artists just need to kind of let it go and try and move on a little bit, because, you know, they're not going to match what they did back in the day, because it's just not going to be the same. I didn't pay too much attention to lyrics. I never really do, to be honest. I'm just more I'm more interested in the music and melody themselves. But I did catch a couple of clever wordplay types of things, and just in like choruses especially, you pay more attention, and it sounded like there was I think there's some underlying themes that would be quite interesting. So yeah, I'll certainly be checking that out in the future. But as I said, this is a quick review. This is the reason I didn't go into it, because I don't have the time. So yeah, overall, I really enjoyed it. I'm going to give it about an 8 out of 10. I don't want to have that score so set in stone, because, yeah, as I said, this is a quick review. Because it is just a quick review, but I have listened to it a number of times, and it's no less valid. It's just a summarised version, in my opinion. And I think this has probably gone on so long anyways, it's not going to look very quick, but yeah, so thanks for watching, and let me know if you want me to review something, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.